Hi, my name is Paul Anderson. I'm the owner of Fly Fishing Strategies Fly Shop in the Dalles, Oregon, and I'm going to be tying a rabbit leech pattern. It's going to involve tying on a tube, the main part of the fly, and then the back part of the fly is going to be tied on this Ichi X-Point X452 hook. And it's going to be, the hook part here will have some rabbit material tied onto it, and then it will be joining the purple part of the tube with a clear joining, softer piece of, kind of a softer piece of tubing that joins the hook to the main tube that the fly is tied on, and so that it can be removed or pushed back on. It holds the hook level with the tube. Okay, so the tube is HMH poly tube large. I'm using purple. You can use any color because pretty much most of it is covered up, and it's available in my fly shop here. It is it's an item carried by Hairline Dubbin. Again, the hook is Ichi X-Point 452. I'm going to be using a 1/0 on this fly. The tube is being held in the vise with a tube fly needle, and I just slide the tubing on till it's snug. Most of the fly is made with crosscut rabbit. So crosscut rabbit is going to hang, the hair is going to be hanging down when you hold a strip of the hide horizontal, and the very end of the tail is going to be with these two little tufts of regular cut pink rabbit. And again, my thread is going to be Ichi Uni 3/0, which is the yellow label, and I prefer white. And for the flash, we've got Lateral scale flashabou. This is the small, the 1/69 of an inch size, and it moves. It's just liquid in the water. A lot of flash. It's really good. Okay, so the main part of the body of this fly, I will start with a thread base, and when I'm wrapping back, I only want to wrap back so far because, again, the clear plastic, soft plastic tubing that the hook slides into needs to slide over the back of this purple part of the tube, so I have to leave enough of the tube for that to fit in. So we're going to go and leave about the back 1/4 of an inch free of thread. So I'm going to tie on this black crosscut rabbit in purple. And I've removed a little bit of the rabbit fur from the end here so I can tie it in. And again, I have to be careful when I tie it in that I don't compromise in this back part of the tube there. So I'll tie this down. It's always a good idea once you get it tied in that you start wrapping it and just make sure that the hair is going to flow towards the back of the fly. So once I'm sure I've got it on there right, I unwrap it, and then I get out the super glue. And the super glue, again, makes these flies pretty much indestructible. So once I've wrapped this rabbit strip over this super glue, the only way you can get this apart is to destroy it. I'm going to move my thread all the way to the front. So I'm going to put one wrap in front of the other, and as you see, all the hair is aiming back towards the back of the hook, covering it really well, right up against the eyes. And now I'm going to wrap around. I don't want to cover the eyes. Coming right behind and then over. And so I'm going to want to push the rabbit hide in behind the eyes so it locks in there really good, and come around with the thread to tie it off. You always have to be careful so you don't cut your thread. Alright. And I can twist it to make sure I got it good. Okay. Alright. So now the only thing I have left to add is the lateral scale flashabou. And I want to make sure that I get a piece. I want to make sure that I get a piece that's long enough so that it hangs past the back of the fly long enough to go past the end of the hook, which when I build the tail up over the tail, it's going to probably stick out probably another this length here of the body. It's going to stick at least that much further back. So I have to make sure I allow for that much room. Alright, so I got my lateral scale aiming back, and then I'm going to pull the front part back so that I get two strands locked in. Going back, I'm going to twist this so that I can now add the two for the other side. Okay, so strand number two here. I'll get this exactly where I want it to be. Wrap some thread around, bring the front back. Okay, so I got this part done, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. And I always take it off to look at it before I get the super glue on it, and make sure the eyes are all exposed there. The lateral scale is all going in the right direction I want, and it's the right length. So then I'll finish up with some super glue. In fishing up in Alaska, having flies that are super durable is the name of the game. Okay, so the upper part here is done. There's the eyes. So I'm going to set this down and let the super glue get dried on there. I'm going to take the needle out of the vise, and now I'm going to take my hook, which again is the X point 1/0. All right, so I'm going to start the thread back from the eye a little bit, and I'm going to coat the hook shank all the way back to the bend pretty good with some up and back with some thread, because I'm going to super glue the rabbit onto here as well, and the super glue bonds really good with the thread. It helps everything get locked in. So I left about 1/4 of an inch here, and again, the reason for that is that if this was my fly and I'm going to push that in there, that's going to hold that hook like that, and so now we're going to go ahead and build this part of the fly. So the back tail part is going to be 2 short 1 inch long, the hide's about an inch long, pieces of pink regular cut rabbit, and I'm going to match these up hide to hide. And get it perfect like that, and I'm going to push it right up onto the hook shank just a little bit so that I can wrap the thread and make sure that it's where I want it. So it's going to be sticking back about like that. Tie it down really good. All right. That's the regular cut rabbit, and now I'm going to come in and I'm going to add in the cross cut. Okay, hold it horizontal, the hair goes down, and I want to tie it in so that when I wrap it, the fibers aim back like that. So I'm going to pinch off a little bit of the hair on the hide and tie it in right back here where the regular cut rabbit was. And then I'm going to move my thread up to there and just make sure I got the wrapping right, and then I'm going to get it out of the way, and here comes the super glue again. It's all about durability. I'm going to soak this down good, and this rabbit will stick to this. And seriously, if you try to, once this is set, if you try to undo this rabbit, it will just rip apart. Okay, so now while that super glue is still wet, I'm going to wrap one wrap in front of the other, going forward all the way up to where I need to stop right there. Make a little opening in the hair on the rabbit. Sometimes you got to wet it to get it to cooperate. And then I'm going to tie this down. Good. Cut off the excess. Okay. Whip finish. And this part of the fly is now done. So here's the front part. You kind of blow on it to expose the end of the tube. Got to find my little real soft rubber part of my tube, and it's going to go on that part of the fly there, and then the end is going to fit inside of it like that, and then this part of the fly goes back, and it kind of all becomes one. So when I'm getting the fly set up to fish, because the eyes are going to be down, they're lead, so they're going to flip the fly around like this, I want to turn the tail so that the hook is riding up, and that way if I'm throwing it around any snags or whatever, I don't want it to get caught on wood or anything, rocks, whatever's on the bottom. So it's going to be riding like that. Hook up, eyes down, and there is tremendous amount of movement to this. The lateral scale flashabou is fluttering and got some really good bling to it. And the advantage of a tube fly is that even though this is a very long fly, it's flexible like that, so there's no leverage that the fish is getting from a long shanked hook. And the other part is that oftentimes while you're fighting the fish, the front part of the fly will separate from the back, and this will be the only part of the fly that is in the teeth of the fish, and so it helps flies last longer. So this is an excellent pattern, and it just seems like every year the biggest fish that we catch are caught on this bunny leech tube fly pattern. So again, I do have some spots open for my last week of September, the 26th through 29th of September. Just have a couple of spots left, and I can only take so many. And if you're interested in some of the best coho fly fishing that you're going to find on the planet, give me a call here at my fly shop at 509-930-4406, and we can talk about the details. Thanks for watching.